What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host that is nearing the end of The Sopranos. Sad day, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/Tales from Retail. Jeez, poo brain. This story's called, Sir, those brake pads were installed upside down? This was probably 10 years ago at this point, but I worked at an auto parts store right out of technical college. We sold brake pads with a lifetime warranty. The warranty covers manufacturing issues as well as long-term wear and tear. You wear those brake pads down from normal use. You can then buy new ones and bring back the old ones for the warranty, or bring us the old ones and we can swap them out right there. What is not covered is improper use, installing on something other than the vehicle the pads were intended for, modifications to the pad, or, as in this case, improper installation. Here's the cast. Mechanic. The mechanic guy who purchased and apparently installed the pads. Yours truly. Boss. My boss. Coworker. My coworker, who was a master mechanic at a car company with a blue logo before a motorcycle accident, prevented him from actually working on cars anymore. I say that all because he's the guy who would know what he's talking about. He was also in the back of the store and didn't hear any of the interaction. Mechanic guy comes in with the brake pads he purchased a short time ago. They are not at all usable anymore. He bought our top-of-the-line ceramic brake pads. These pads were a fairly new product in our store at the time, and we didn't know how they actually performed. But they were marketed as the best ceramic pads you could buy for everyday driving, as well as a little high-speed fun on the weekends. So to have them go bad in a short amount of time was odd, to be sure.
These pads are garbage! I bought them a few months ago and they're already trashed, and they ruined my rotors. So you guys need to give me new pads and pay for new rotors too.
I explained that we're sorry about the issue and we'd be glad to help in any way we can and blah blah blah. I take a look at the pads and immediately notice the odd wear pattern. It looks like the pads were installed upside down. Sir, these pads look like they were installed upside down.
Upside down? No, I am a mechanic. I have been working on cars for longer than you've been alive.
This goes on for a hot minute, but the conversation followed those lines. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Threaten my job, blah blah blah. Boss man hears the commotion and steps in to try to calm things down.
Aye, sir, what seems to be the issue here? This punk seems to think he knows better than me and claimed I installed my brake pads upside down. Sir, the wear pattern on these pads showed that they were installed upside down. With that being the case, unfortunately, we cannot warranty the pads out. The warranty does not cover improper installation. What kind of store is this? Is this how you treat all of your customers?
Blah blah blah, you know the drill.
Sir, if it would make you feel better, we do have an employee who was a master mechanic for a car company and keeps his ASE, or Automotive Service Excellent, certifications current. Would you like him to take a look? Absolutely. Get someone up here with a brain. Hey, coworker, can you come up here for a second?
Yeah, boss. He walks up to the counter. What's up?
Coworker, do you notice anything odd about these brake pads?
Yeah, looks like they were installed upside down. Mechanic guy is fuming at this point. He finally leaves with no new pads and no new rotors. My coworkers and I had a pretty good laugh about that, as well as a conversation about how the hell he installed the brake pads upside down. Some context. I did look like a punk. I was 18 to 20 years old, long, shaggy hair, and fresh out of mechanic school. I was in no way assuming I knew everything about cars. I just noticed the wear pattern and the notches worn out that indicated that the pads were installed upside down. ASE certifications are needed to get a job at any reputable mechanic shop. Getting one is tough, and getting multiple takes specialized training and studying. Master mechanic certifications are even tougher to get because you need specialized training from a specific company. Car manufacturer, semi-manufacturer, agricultural machines manufacturer, motorcycles manufacturer, etc. So, coworker absolutely knew what he was talking about. Anyone who has done a brake job before, it's really not that hard if you have the right tools and a little know-how, knows it's pretty difficult to put new pads on an old caliper the right way. The pads in caliper are literally curved with the curvature of the brake rotor. How this guy got them on upside down is beyond me. Man, I wish I knew about cars and stuff. Seems like a really, obviously, it's very useful knowledge to have. It also makes you look cool. Like, oh yeah, I just got a new carburetor and, I got some tow mirrors added to my truck. Added me 24 horsepower. Yeah. See, I guarantee you I just gained at least 3 people's respect right there. Alright, this story's called Tiny Thieves. After reading a very recent post about a kid stealing some white chocolate Kit Kats and eating them in the bathroom, it reminded me of the one time kids tried to steal from my job but got caught. Years later, this story is still strong in my memory and thought it would be time to write it out. Don't remember many of the words used, but I do remember the sequence things went in and what the conversations entailed. About 2 to 3 years ago one evening, it was somewhat close to closing time. I was doing the closing duties, which involved a lot of cleaning, and just so happened to be cleaning the bathrooms at the time. Normally, I keep the cleaning cart outside the door, blocking it, because it's a little too big to bring in. So every now and then, I would need to open the door to the hallway to get a different cleaner. 2 little girls, sisters, stood in the hallway. The younger I'd say about 5 or 6, and the older maybe 8 or 9, were waiting by my cart. I politely told them and apologized that the bathrooms were currently closed but should be open again in a few minutes. I had just sprayed cleaner on everything. They scurried away and I went back inside and quickly finished. When I came out, they at first weren't there. It wasn't until I pushed the cart over to the men's restroom and cleaned a little in there before coming out to swap the cleaners that I caught the back of the older sister running into the bathroom. A few minutes passed again, finish with the men's restroom, and push the cart to the back to tidy up and throw out the trash bags. My manager had come in and asked me if I had cleaned the restrooms yet, and when I replied yes, she made the follow me hand motion and we went towards the front of the store. On the way up, she faced me and was walking backwards as she explained quietly that she found boxes of empty toys in one of the tiny trash cans located within the stall, and asked if I had changed them out. I told her I did, but did see 2 little girls go in and described what they looked like. Upon getting to the front of the store, I was told to monitor the little girls through the mirror on the back wall, who were still in the toy aisle, while the manager told the cashier up front about the situation and to notify when their guardian came up. Didn't have to wait long because only a few seconds later, their grandmother came up with some medication, followed by the 2 little girls who were empty-handed. Once she was checking out, my manager came up and asked if the grandmother would like to add the toys to the transaction. Of course, the grandmother had no idea what she was talking about. So the manager removed box after box from the bag and placed them on the counter. The 2 girls were trying so hard to act like they've never seen those before. So the grandma stared at the boxes, looked at the kids, and started yelling. They both start tearing up and remove the toys from their pockets. Whatever is in those little blind box num-noms, I assume chapstick at the time, just kept unloading them onto the counter. The grandmother was so mad, yelling that this wasn't how their family raised them, said that she would be back to purchase, and stormed out with the kids. She then came back in after minutes, paid for everything, including the toys, but said we could keep them in the store because she was was not going to be rewarding their behavior, profusely apologized and left. I was talking with the cashier, telling her about everything leading up to this. All she was told was to look out for the family with 2 little girls because of a theft. Next thing we know, we hear crying, and it's getting louder. The grandmother walks in, practically dragging the younger one, who is just nothing but tears and a red face. They come back up with a Num Noms toy, and it's not broken into. She pays for the toy, hands it to the little girl, and leaves with the child, all without a word. When I asked my manager later that night how exactly she found the empty packages, she said that she noticed the little girls run out from the bathroom hallway and had a small feeling to go check. Noticed I wasn't in the hallway anymore and went into the bathroom. The stall trash can was not only stuffed with them, but overflowing too. We're talking maybe 12-16 boxes, and they're pretty decently sized. Let's hope that doesn't turn into a nasty shoplifting habit in the future. I knew a kleptomaniac. She sat right in front of me in AP US History in junior year. No, that was senior year. I don't know, whichever one of those. She was pretty cute, but I later found out that she had a really bad stealing problem. Alright, this story's called Angry Customer Spills His Tools Everywhere. So just for some clarification for those who haven't read some of my posts, I work for a store that is under a multi-store ownership. Our other store sells building material, and often customers will request it to be shipped to our store for easier pickup. During the height of the lockdown that went on in my area, a contractor who we don't like because he is arrogant and rude came in saying he got a call some building material he ordered arrived. We looked through our whole receiving area and found nothing. At this point, the customer is getting rather angry, saying he got a call from us saying it is here. We go around asking every staff member if they saw the other store come by and drop the material off. Everyone said they never even saw the other store arrive. So my manager tells the guy to wait in his vehicle and he'll make some calls to figure out what is going on. The guy is spewing, saying we don't know how to do our jobs and stuff like that with the usual rant. I see the guy angrily stomp back to his truck after his rant. Since it was close to time for us to close, I go outside to put stuff away. The whole time I see the guy angrily stomping around his truck, slamming doors and the tailgate of his truck. After several minutes of observing his fits of rage, I see him get back into his truck, turn it on with the tailgate open, and open a toolbox resting on the back. He hits the gas hard and speeds out of his parking spot, going for the exit, but his toolbox slid off the back and slammed onto the ground, spilling his tools everywhere. I bit my tongue, trying not to laugh as I see him stomp out of his truck and go back to collect his fallen tools. Just as he finished and got back in, that was when my manager came out and walked up to the driver's side window. I see him talk to the guy for a moment, then I see the guy give him a similar hand gesture like when you say screw you to someone, and then he speeds out of the parking lot. So my manager comes over, chuckling, and I ask him what went on. He told me his material did arrive, but it arrived at the other store, which is who phoned him, and they didn't send it over because he never asked to have it brought over. So a few days later, I talked to a coworker from the other store, and this person dealt directly with the contractor. They told me he was nice and sweet on the phone when he was asking about why his material wasn't sent to our store. My coworker is not one to tolerate much, so they told him he never asked it to be sent, that they discussed if it could be sent over, but he never said yes, do it. They then told me when they said they would send it over, my coworker told them, "You better be nicer to the workers at the other store when you get it." He asked, "What do you mean?" My coworker replied, "Because I heard how rude and disrespectful you were to them for something that wasn't their fault. If I hear you treat them similarly like that again, we aren't gonna bother ordering anything for you again." He goes, "Well, I'm under a lot of stress with this job, trying to get it done." My coworker replied, "That's no excuse to treat them the way you did, so treat them better, or don't shop with us at all." So his material did arrive, and when he came to pick it up, well, Let's just say he miscommunicated how much he actually wanted. We could see his face turning red with anger during that time, but it was funny watching him trying to keep his rage under control. Hope that gave everyone a good laugh. I laughed a lot witnessing it. Hey, just goes to show that being an impatient jerk doesn't pay off all the time. It does sometimes though, if we're being honest. But that doesn't mean you do it. That doesn't mean you do it. This story's called Customer Doesn't Know Why I Can't Answer Questions About a Different Store. I'm on mobile, don't shoot me. I also suck at grammar. So I work in a retail store that's inside a grocery store. We'll call my store Purple. So I'm working in Purple alone, and a customer walks in with a cart full of groceries from the store and tells me they have a quick question. Okay, shoot. Do you know if Brown has this random service? I'm not sure. This is Purple, not Brown, so I don't know what they have. I know this is Purple. I've been here before. I'm asking about Brown. I have no idea what they do and don't have since I've never worked there. I can tell you we don't have that service though. Again, I know this isn't Brown. I'm asking if you know what services they have. What am I supposed to do? The closest Brown is 30 minutes away from here, and I don't want to drive all the way there just to find out they don't do it. You could call them before you go. Do you have their number? No, I never needed to call them, so I don't have it. She stares expectantly for me to pull the number out of my backside. I stare back with a friendly, oblivious smile. Customer leaves. Now, as a fun fact for all of you, yes, I could have Googled it. I didn't want to. This person comes in the grocery store and buys a ton of fruits and vegetables, and when they can't eat all of them before they go bad, they return the rotten food and exchange it for new ones. Every week. The grocery store has a freshness policy, so that's how they get away with it. And I know they do this because I talked to the people who work in the grocery store. So I knew they just wasted 20 plus minutes of a poor customer service person's life as they went through the weekly process of getting more free food. Edit to clarify, Purple and Brown are competitors, so honestly, they probably do offer the service either, but I don't know for sure. Like I said, I've never worked there or been in there for anything as a customer. Okay, that fruit thing is just weird. What? That's a weird policy. How do you return food?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.